Super Mario is easily the most recognized video game character on the planet. While Mario stands as one of the most important video game characters ever, Super Mario Bros. Wouldn't be the game it was if it wasn't for the other character, Luigi. While not being as adventurous as Mario, Luigi has appeared in many games, often receiving mixed reactions from other Mushroom Kingdom residents, with some seeing him as a hero and others seeing him as a nuisance. Which characters have the best relationships with Luigi, and which ones have the most toxic? Hey guys, I'm Brad with One Up Binge, and this is Luigi's Relationships, Healthy to Toxic. Alright, first, the rules. We're only going to be looking at the games, not outside sources like movies, cartoons, or comics. So Mama Luigi and Luigi Mario's relationships will not be counted. Let's go into our list, starting from Luigi's healthiest relationship and working our way down to his most toxic. The gold medal for Luigi's healthiest relationship goes to his relationship with Princess Daisy. This is an interesting relationship for a lot of reasons. Daisy first appeared as a damsel in distress in Super Mario Land, a game which Luigi was absent from. Since then, Daisy has never reappeared in a main Mario adventure, but does make numerous appearances in the series sports, racing, and party games, among a few other places like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Throughout these appearances, Luigi and Daisy are paired together, much like Mario and Peach, hinting at a romantic relationship between them. Even though it's a little understated, we consider Luigi and Daisy's relationship one of the healthiest in the entire Mario series for a few reasons. First, while Luigi is one of the friendliest characters within the Mario universe, his cowardly nature and inability to escape Mario's shadow often leads to him being looked down upon by other characters. Daisy, on the other hand, shows nothing but admiration toward Luigi, even going as far as to construct a statue of her and Luigi dancing on the Daisy circuit course of Mario Kart Wii. What makes this relationship so interesting is, unlike other characters like Mario, Princess Peach, or Toad, Luigi has never rescued Daisy once throughout the course of the series. It was Mario who rescued Daisy from Tantanga in Super Mario Land, so wouldn't it make more sense for Daisy to be attracted to him? This really tells us that the attraction that Daisy has to Luigi is based on who he is as a person rather than out of some heroic act he performed to impress her. Since Luigi is often portrayed as a reluctant hero, we're willing to bet he wouldn't have it any other way. Daisy is loud and excitable, whereas Luigi is shy and reserved. So this could definitely be a case of opposites attracting each other. Whatever the case may be, Luigi's relationship with Daisy is one of the sweeter pairings in the entire series, which is why it nabs the gold medal on our countdown. Luigi's relationship with Polterpup is awarded the silver medal. One of Luigi's most defining character traits is his fear of ghosts, as seen in the Luigi's Mansion series. Even with this phobia, Luigi's anxiety will be swayed if the ghosts clearly mean him no harm, as seen when he befriends his undead canine. First appearing in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, Polterpup has many traits typical of a living dog, most notably his rambunctious nature, playful attitude, and loyalty. In Dark Moon, and even in the 3DS remake of the original Luigi's Mansion, Polterpup will save Luigi from death, licking his face wherever Luigi has a gold bone in his inventory. It's implied that Luigi has adopted Polterpup as a pet, which is kind of ironic considering a ghost is the last pet we'd imagine Luigi calling his own. It is true that Polterpup can occasionally be more of a nuisance to Luigi, such as when he plays keep away with the key that Luigi needs to progress through a mansion. However, this is definitely a cause of Polterpup's playful nature rather than malicious intent, so Luigi can't stay mad at him and neither can we. Polterpup's loyalty to Luigi far outweighs any of the flaws they may have as a duo, which is why this ghost dog possesses the silver medal in our rankings. The bronze medal goes to his relationship with Mario. Some of you might say this relationship should be ranked higher, and some may say it should rank lower, but we're pretty confident it deserves to be ranked here. Let's take an honest look. It's undeniable that Mario and Luigi work well as a team. Whenever they're on an adventure, Mario and Luigi become the Italian brother equivalent of Frodo and Sam, constantly saving each other from danger and using their combined abilities to their fullest potential. They will also go out of their way to embark on journeys to rescue each other, such as Luigi saving Mario from haunted mansions or Mario saving Luigi from getting trapped in Super Mario Galaxy. It's clear these brothers have a large amount of love, admiration, and respect for each other, which in our opinion outweighs any squabbles they may have. With that said, many have pointed out the less favorable characteristics. We won't deny that Luigi lives in Mario's shadow, but is that really Mario's fault? Luigi is shown to be reluctant to put himself in dangerous situations, which is likely why he's absent from many games. We have no doubt that if Mario wasn't so quick to jump into danger, he'd be perfectly happy with letting his brother accompany him on every journey. Mario has confidence in his brother's abilities, even when other characters and even Luigi doesn't. However, there are definitely situations where Mario does give Luigi the shaft, like when he doesn't invite him on vacation in Super Mario Sunshine. He also doesn't defend Luigi from any other characters who are berating and belittling Luigi in front of Mario's eyes. While Mario and Luigi are occasionally competitive with each other in various spin-off titles, we do have to remember that they are brothers at the end of the day, so a little sibling rivalry is to be expected. You could interpret Luigi as being jealous of Mario's heroism, but you should also remember that Luigi puts Mario's jumping ability to shame, so Mario has plenty to be jealous of too. Even with their occasional hiccups, Mario and Luigi have an enormous amount of respect, care, and loyalty to each other, which is why this relationship is given the Bronze Medal of Healthiness. Next is Luigi's relationship with Professor E. Gadd. First appearing in Luigi's Mansion on GameCube, Professor E. Gadd became the Doc Brown to Luigi's Marty McFly, as this unlikely duo assisted one another in saving Mario from King Boo. Referred to by Bowser Jr. as a strange old man in a white suit, Professor E. Gadd provides Luigi with all the tools necessary to save his brother, including the Poltergust 3000 and the Game Boy Horror. As the series progresses, Professor E. Gadd updates Luigi's arsenal with even more elaborate and effective inventions. Professor E. Gadd puts a lot of faith and trust in Luigi and helps Luigi through his inventions. The reason he narrowly misses the top 3 is because there are definite flaws in their partnership. Professor E. Gadd is always hiding out in his shack and putting Luigi in the front lines. You might say this because of his age, which is a fair point, but there are times where Professor E. Gadd hints that Luigi is cowardly. That's pretty rich coming from the guy who won't join Luigi in the mansions to fight Ghost. That might be forgivable, but what really baffles us is why Professor E. Gadd would give Bowser Jr. the magic paintbrush before the events of Super Mario Sunshine. The magic paintbrush is a dangerous invention that causes a lot of problems on Isle Delfino, and Professor E. Gadd entrusted it with Bowser Jr., who was obviously ill-intentioned. You might say that's irrelevant due to Luigi's absence in Super Mario Sunshine, but Bowser Jr. is an associate of King Boo, and it does cause Luigi's brother to get framed as a result, so it's vicariously an unintentional slight against Luigi. These issues aside, Professor E. Gadd and Luigi are a pretty good team, which is why this relationship ranks pretty high in the healthy department. Next, we have Luigi and Gooigi. Gooigi made his first appearance in Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. He's a clone of Luigi, constructed out of a mysterious green goo and E-Gadd split coffee beans. This odd creation travels back in time to assist Luigi in collecting pieces of the Dark Moon. In Luigi's Mansion 3 and the Luigi's Mansion remake on the 3DS, Gooigi's role expands even further, becoming the second playable character in both games. Luigi's Mansion 3 is Gooigi's most important role, as Gooigi slips through pipes and vents to help Luigi further on his journey. Luigi and Gooigi make a great team, and as far as we can tell, get along well. I mean, this is a clone of the man himself, so it makes sense that Luigi and Gooigi work toward the same goals with little conflict. Since this is an invention of Professor E. Gadd, we only feel it fair to rank Gooigi a little lower than the bizarre scientist. We have to give kudos to Professor E. Gadd for giving Luigi such a great partner. Now we have Luigi's relationship with himself. Much like Daffy Duck, Luigi has come face to face with an exact replica of himself at one point in the Mario series. In Super Mario Galaxy, there are a few missions within the game that sees Mario rescuing Luigi from the clutches of danger. Okay, that's straightforward, but upon collecting all 120 stars in Super Mario Galaxy, the adventure starts over again, this time with the player controlling Luigi. Upon reaching these same missions the second time around, Luigi is tasked with the mission of rescuing another Luigi. What? Has traveling through the cosmos created some sort of rift in reality, causing two Luigis to come into existence? Whatever the case may be, Luigi gets along with the other Luigi, always saving him from danger as the other Luigi collects stars for the more heroic Luigi. It kinda hurts our head to think about, but Luigi's relationship with himself does rank among the healthier relationships he has in the series. Alright, let's get out of clone territory. Next, we have Luigi and Princess Peach. While Luigi has a more iconic relationship with Daisy, Luigi and Peach have been seen interacting on several occasions. Despite apparently having a relationship, we can definitely say that Peach gets around among men in the Mushroom Kingdom. Mario may be your hero, but Peach has shown to put her faith in Luigi on several occasions. In certain instances, such as Super Mario World and the remake of Super Mario Bros. On the All-Stars collection, Peach is even seen kissing Luigi if he ends up saving her instead of Mario. Luigi's relationship with Peach is more platonic than it is with Daisy, but he's more than willing to receive Peach's affection whenever she gives it. You may call Luigi a coward, but you can't say he doesn't know his way around the ladies. Next is Luigi's relationship with the Toads. Luigi, along with Mario, have been interacting with Toads ever since the NES, mostly so the Mushroom Men could tell him that his princess is in another castle. The role of the Toads have only expanded since then, giving Luigi items from mushroom houses and even working side by side with him in games such as Super Mario Bros. 2 and New Super Luigi U, among many others. Luigi continues rescuing Toads in the Luigi's Mansion series, where he'll often comfort them in tough situations and save them from ghosts. It seems that the Toads are the only characters in the series who are more scared of ghosts than Luigi. The Toads obviously see Luigi as a hero and entrust in his abilities whenever he steps up to the task. We're ranking this one lower in our healthy category though, because much like Peach, the Toads clearly see Luigi as a sidekick and will go to Mario first on any given occasion. However, the Toads still get along with Luigi and have an overall healthy relationship. Rounding out the healthy category, we have his relationship with Yoshi. While referred to as Mario's sidekick, Luigi also enlists Yoshi's help several times throughout the series and vice versa. In the Yoshi's Island games, Yoshi, alongside baby Mario and several other babies, travel far and wide to rescue baby Luigi from Kamek's captivity. In other games such as Super Mario World and Super Mario Galaxy 2, Luigi can be found riding a dinosaur throughout many levels. Since Yoshi serves a similar purpose to Luigi as he does Mario, their relationship has the same ups and downs. That includes the more sadistic actions against Yoshi, including dropping him down a pit for an extra boost in Super Mario World. We also rank him pretty low because, for whatever reason, Yoshi doesn't seem to have the same bond with Luigi as he does with Mario. Personally, we thought Yoshi would be happier to have the skinnier brother ride on his back, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Still, whenever Yoshi and Luigi team up, they are pretty unstoppable. Now we're in the gray area. These are a couple of relationships that Luigi has, which don't totally qualify as toxic, but need some work before we can really deem them as healthy. At the top of the gray area, we have his relationship with Starlo. Appearing in the Mario and Luigi RPG games, Starlo is a star sprite who assists Mario and Luigi by providing them with hints and holding their items. Starlo has a lot of admiration toward Mario, who she sees as a brave hero, but her relationship with Luigi leaves a lot to be desired. Starlo often berates and makes fun of Luigi for his cowardice, seeing him as much less capable than Mario. With that said, her relationship with Luigi does improve over time as she makes fun of him less in the later RPG games. Starlo seems to care about Luigi despite the occasional jeering and does help him and Mario through many adventures. However, this relationship has a little ways to go. At the bottom of the gray area, we have his relationship with Wario. You might be surprised that this relationship doesn't rank firmly in the toxic category, but hear us out. It is true that Wario is an enemy of Mario, which vicariously makes him an enemy of Luigi as well. Wario and Waluigi try to sabotage the Mario Brothers in various sports games. However, Wario's anger in those cases seems to be directed more at Mario than Luigi. We'd go as far as to say that if it wasn't for Waluigi, Wario would pay no mind to Luigi at all. In fact, the only time we've seen Luigi and Wario interacting with each other outside of spin-off titles is when they worked together to take down Bowser in Super Mario 64 DS. Even though they worked together in that situation, we're still ranking this at the bottom of the gray area because we doubt Luigi and Wario think very highly of each other. Wario probably sees Luigi as Mario's less important brother, and Luigi likely sees Wario as Mario's unimportant adversary. Still, since they never directly oppose each other on their journeys, we wouldn't call their relationship completely toxic either. With our gray area covered, let's delve into the negative. These are Luigi's most toxic relationships. Narrowly missing out on the bottom three is Luigi's relationship with Waluigi. First appearing in Mario Tennis on the N64, Waluigi was created for Wario to have a sports partner and has been a prominent staple on the Mario spin-offs ever since. While Wario's anger is generally aimed at Mario, Waluigi's disdain is naturally directed at Luigi. Waluigi's name in Japan literally means bad Luigi. so it only makes sense for him to be Luigi's enemy. Some of you may be thinking that Waluigi should rank even lower, but let's really think about this for a second. Sure, Waluigi hates Luigi for some unclear reason, but what has he really done as a result of that hatred? As far as we can tell, he has mostly stuck to competing against Luigi in racing, sports, and party games, which really isn't that dastardly. Waluigi's only role as a main antagonist was in Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, wherein he hypnotizes the world via the power of dancing. That's pretty tame by the standards of a main villain. We're still putting Waluigi in the toxic category because he obviously has some sort of beef with Luigi, but we're still putting him close to the gray area because he really hasn't done anything substantial against Luigi. The bronze medal of toxicity goes to his relationship with Kamek. This is one of Luigi's earliest relationships, as Kamek has known Luigi ever since he was a child. In Yoshi's Island, Kamek attacks a stork who's attempting to deliver baby Mario and baby Luigi to their parents. After this, he captures Luigi as Mario falls to the ground, causing a group of Yoshis to set out on a journey to reunite the brothers. That would be enough, but Kamek actually goes out of his way to do this twice more in Yoshi's Island DS and New Yoshi's Island. It's clear that Kamek is aware of the amount of grief Mario and Luigi will cause Bowser as adults and is doing his best to separate them. That's pretty scummy, and to be honest, this may even play into Luigi's more timid nature as an adult. I mean, he was abducted 3 times as a child. That's gotta do something to Luigi's psyche. It's true that Kamek doesn't physically harm Luigi upon capturing him, but that's a rotten thing to do to an infant, which is why this relationship gets the bronze medal. The silver medal of toxicity goes to Luigi and Bowser. Ever since Bowser's first appearance, Luigi has stood by Mario in an effort to take down the Koopa King and rescue Princess Peach from captivity. Despite their long-standing rivalry, Bowser doesn't see Luigi as nearly as big of a threat as Mario. In the Mario and Luigi games, Bowser has trouble even remembering Luigi's name, calling him Green Stash instead. It goes to show how little Bowser thinks of Luigi, despite being defeated by him on numerous occasions. Still, he eventually does realize Luigi as a legitimate threat, as demonstrated at the end of Dream Team, where he finally remembers Luigi's name. While Bowser doesn't have the same iconic rivalry with Green Stash as he does with Mario, we still feel it's only fair to give this relationship the silver medal, since Luigi has technically fought Bowser more than he has any other character. He may not remember it, but Bowser undoubtedly has a toxic relationship with Luigi. The gold medal of toxicity goes to his relationship with King Boo. Throughout the Mario series, the main characters have developed arch-enemies of their own. Mario has Bowser, Yoshi has Kamek, Wario has anyone who keeps him away from treasure, and Luigi has King Boo. Appearing originally in the first Luigi's Mansion game, King Boo is a henchman of Bowser's who, as his title would imply, is the leader of the Ghost and Bowser's army. He captures Mario and attempts to do the same to Luigi, but is prevented due to Luigi joining forces with Professor E. Gadd. King Boo may not have seen Luigi as being as big of a threat as Mario, but that certainly changes after Luigi captures him in a painting. As a result, King Boo shifts his anger mostly toward Luigi, facing off against him again in subsequent Luigi's Mansion games. Since Luigi's biggest fear is Ghost, it only makes sense that his arch-enemy would be the leader of all Ghost. It's almost poetic. For all those reasons, this is Luigi's most toxic relationship. Alright guys, that's it. Let us know in the comments section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge our Good to Evil playlist, where we break down the morality of the characters and your favorite games. But most importantly, stay wicked.